everyone. Good morning. Morning, Jack.
Good morning, Ian. How are you? Yes, yes. Well, hello. Pink. No, I can't. The way I'm holding this mug, I can't do pinkies out. I can't do fancy. It's a big mug. It's one of my Snoopy mugs.
Mine has Cthulhu hiding in it.
Oh, that is absolutely
See if
awesome.
it shows up.
What? One of the prides of my dice collect. Oh, that's beautiful. That is great. What are the prides of my dice collection? Are my Cthulhu dice from Chaosium?
I have the ones from that Q Workshop made.
I believe so. They have the elder signs
Mhm.
for the best parts of the rolls.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I have the glow in the dark ones.
Nice. Oh,
Also, I'm not gonna forget to drink some water because coffee is not
stay
hydrating.
stay hydrated. Says the man that drinks coffee and Diet Coke. Well, it's with an occasional Gatorade.
Oh, there you
Hashtag not a sponsor.
go. Yeah, not sponsored yet. So, I can see by the little ticker hovering above my head. So far, $1,467.69.
That is just day one. That is incredible.
So I know that saw that jump up literally between you and I talking yesterday and the beginning of the Cult game, and I was just like,
Wow, we should have these conversations more often. Oh.
so how's it been so far? I know technically you started on Thursday. We started yesterday.
Yeah, the trainings that we run every year at Save Against Fear, and we're going to be adding to our roster for the next year on a monthly basis, especially with being able to do them online. Those officially started Thursday. So those are either therapists or practitioners who want to use this in multiple different settings. We do trainings on how to uh, just what the basic theory and application of this is, like how it relates to psychoanalysis or how it relates to CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Then Tuesday is one of our kind of deep dive, or Friday was the second in the series, or 201 training, which goes into how to create content. And this is stuff that we talk a lot about, therapeutic role playing, being kind of like it's the perfect marriage between being a game master and a therapist, because you, on one hand, you got to know how to run a group and to deal with certain issues and things like that that might come up in the context, but you also got to know how to be a good game master. You have to run a story that
Right.
is believable and allows people to be immersed in the content, while at the same time creating challenges in the narrative and creating storylines with beats that can help practice and rehearse goals, whether it's bartering at a local market or trying to bluff your way into the castle, or even dealing with, like, let's say you have an NPC family in the game, dealing with a disappointed mom or dad, or a bad breakup, all these things you could rehearse in the framework of a dramatic game. um and yeah, it's very fascinating just hearing. One of the cool things is every year at Save Against Fear, hearing all of the different stories of how people either have personally benefited from gaming or how people have utilized gaming. One of our very good friends, Dave, he's a heart transplant patient, and gaming was like his stability in the hospital, because I mean, being in a hospital on a treatment ward like that, for intensive care,
Yeah.
it's like living in a casino. There's there's no sense of time there, but knowing you had that game,
Yep.
and it helped to keep the mental stability, and it helped to keep the spirits uplifted. So
Awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's really important. I think we talked in our community. We talked to a lot of people who gaming plays a very important role. I know it does for me, obviously. um,
You don't say.
it's almost like it's my main thing. Um, but I think that ability is one big part of it, but another part is there's a sense of community that can be very empowering for a lot of people, particularly marginalized. They don't find that necessarily in their life,
Yeah.
and that's I've heard that a very powerful thing that they get from it. I think is very important.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that thankfully there's been a lot more focus on in recent years. I'm very glad that that is something that, I mean, of course, there's always detractors to everything, and it's, play your way, but I remember getting into this hobby. And I mean, I got into this hobby years and years ago, courtesy of Ghostbusters role playing game. That's why I actually, but the prides of my collection, actually, the biggest pride of my collection is I have a Ghostbusters 2, which was the West End sequel. A very good friend of mine, Dave Schiffler, he found it in an auction for me, and it is actually, it's still, I'm going to sound like a Spinal Tap quote, still got the old tagger on it, never been opened. It literally has a price tag from 1989. So the box has not been opened. It's over 30 years old with the original price tag of like, I think it would cost original, like, what, this is probably going to shock gamers. So it's a box set.
It's a box set and it costs
Yep.
$15.
It's about, you are so close.
Ah, yes.
$18. Not, yeah, 889. So it still has the old tag on it, which also means it still has a ghost die that has never been rolled. So I'm still contemplating whether I want to open it, and
Yeah.
because I'm like, well, on one hand, I've never been into the whole collectible thing. Like, what's the point of getting something if you ain't gonna play it,
Right. Agreed.
And it's not like I'm gonna sell it or anything, but yeah. So I've been gaming in that, and the whole community aspect, and accepting all the goofiness and the silliness that came along with role playing. I mean, I started when I was 12, so just that community, it really is inspiring. um and even when you find certain types of the community, like that are exclusive, you don't really get a lot of gamers for too long in that kind of setting. So it's awesome that gaming is becoming more inclusive, and there's multiple reasons for that.
Absolutely important. I think that we a lot of the companies are also doing a very good job. Not all of them, but a lot of them are doing
True,
a good
true.
job of breaking down gatekeeping. So, what I do have a question actually. I meant to ask you this yesterday, but like, what inspired you to start Bodhana Group?
uh well, actually, to start Bodhana, Bodhana originally did not start out going towards gaming. We originally were a bunch of professionals who worked together at a juvenile treatment facility, and we had all worked on either the pre-adolescent or the adolescent unit, working with sexually problematic behaviors. So we worked with folks who are we rehabilitated perpetrators of, but we also treated people who were also at the same time victims of sexual abuse. And the facility that we worked in, after a while, Pennsylvania kind of made this whole movement to go to community based. They were kind of closing down a lot of the residential places. It was kind of part of that era's one flew over the cuckoo's nest. Facility bad, community good. Well, good facilities can still do good work. They're not inherently evil. But so we started originally actually as a training firm to help train people on things like vicarious trauma, compassion fatigue, all these things that come along with working with, sexual violence and the impact of sexual abuse, and, this type. I mean, I've been doing work with people with problematic behaviors for about 20 years now.
Yeah.
It's one of my, specialties in addition to gaming. So when we originally started, and a lot of people ask, man, you don't have, like, up until recently when we do a hashtag SAFeCon, it's still Save Against Fear. What a lot of people don't know, and when we tell them this, like in little interviews, so I'm very glad you asked this question. And it was not staged, folks. I did not know that Ian was going to ask me that. The name Save Against Fear literally was us talking about save against the fear, Like, make your saving throw to conquer the fear, to open up if if you've been hurt, or if you know someone, if you check in, speak up,
Yep.
reach out, and it was so the whole name Save Against Fear originally came from our work within that population, and how important it is that people are like, well, screw the people that do the bad thing. Well, no, you got to treat both ends of this, because the people who have been impacted need to be helped,
Yep.
but you also need to help rehabilitate and stop the pattern from continuing on both sides of that coin. Now, granted, it's difficult work. It's not something anyone in the field can do. But I always tell this story, and Rich does his usual. Come on, don't do that. But Rich was one of the main sponsors that we've had at our first Save Against Fear. And in talking with Rich, he had shared how, through White Wolf and Onyx, the Worlds of Darkness settings and all that, people had sent so many letters in over the years talking about working through their demons, and how battling the monsters in the game helped them battle monsters in their lives. And that actually flipped the switch. That first year, I remember standing in 1600 games talking to Rich. And one of my funniest moments with Rich was, we're standing there and there's the Magic the Gathering case. And I'm not a Magic the Gathering player. And Rich points over to the case and goes, hey, there's one of mine.
Yep.
There's one of mine. I had no clue. And I'm like, oh, and literally I was like, oh, you play? And he was like,
Nope.
no, I drew those. And I was like, oh, I don't play Magic. So he goes, this all makes sense. but I mean, Rich, came down to our first Save Against Fear event, and, conversations with him started us literally that weekend, starting to talk about the theoretical application. I mean, so we've been talking about therapeutic gaming theoretically before we even started practicing. We were talking about for a good 4 years.
Awesome.
So yeah, so that's where this whole idea to do this came from, and we reflected on when we worked in the facility, how we used D&D with the kids on the unit. We saw behavioral change, so it's been a long time in the works. We want to make sure we had our theory down first before we actually started to run groups, because that's responsible,
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. That is very cool. Also, it's funny anecdote. I found out Rich did magic card art by finding out he drew my favorite card.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. What's your favorite card?
Holopterous
This
lemur.
is coffee talk, so it's not all like advertise. What is it again?
Holopterous lemur. Which even has a hilarious story behind it, because the art direction for the card was wrong. It was supposed to be a lemur, which is a ghost type creature.
Not a lemur.
Not a lemur. But it said lemur, so he drew a lemur, and it's great, and it's adorable, and it's a really cute card with like this bloodthirsty lemur on it, and it's my favorite card for the art.
Oh my god! See, that just throws me through another whole loop, because I know Rich is a huge Mystery Science Theater 3000 fan, same as I is, and immediately when you said lemur and Rich, I was thinking Joey the lemur. It's like one of the little segments from MST.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'm awake now.
Yeah, tell me. Oh my gosh, getting awake for day 2. I mean, day 1 again. Overall, we are at last count last night, we had gone up to about 262 badges, which were already half of what our in-person count was last year.
Awesome.
And up there are therapists. Like I think I had said, we not only approached, we have over double the amount of professionals attending Save Against Fear, and all the panels and all the workshops. And again, in addition to, always thanking, Legendary Pants and Gehenna Gaming and the fine folks at Mepicon for their assistance in our transition, I also want to say thank you to all of the professionals, not only in the gaming industry, but within the professional industry, for their sacrifice and volunteering of their time to sit in panels. I mean, I know it's rewarding on the same hand, but still, it's a sacrifice that has brought a lot of people in, and people are really having a good time at those panels. So yeah, we have some great content coming up today.
Oh yeah,
Safety tools in gaming. You're doing the curating horror panel later tonight. We have consent in gaming at 5 o'clock.
let's say tomorrow.
Um, what
Consent.
consent? Consent is today,
Okay. Okay.
five,
Yeah.
5 to 6:30.
I'm
Yeah.
planning. I'm planning on actually jumping into that one because.
Oh, it's good. No, there is. I mean, that's one of the things that what did I say to you yesterday? I was like, man, Discord, you just wind it up and watch it go. Like it's it's like that scene in Fifth Element. Like, look at all these little machines that have things to do now. So their parents can feed their little children and grow up to have children of their own someday. But so it's like you just said it and just boom, it just
Oh yeah.
explodes in activity. But
That was,
folks are having an awesome time, and just kind of as like a weird thing there. I don't know if you're aware of the wonderful fundraising uh uh, scenario that's going on between you guys and Adventures League. It is so like it's like that Bugs Bunny cartoon with the Barber of Seville chairs
yeah.
where you're like but no, thank you to everybody out there who has been donating and contributing to everything. Like, wow,
10%.
yeah, we are just we are blown away, thankful and humble as always.
It's a good cause, and it's important to support both mental wellness and tabletop gaming. So putting them
Oh
hand
yeah,
in hand is important to all of us here, particularly at Gehenna Gaming, but I think in general in the gaming community.
oh absolutely, yeah. There's no can't can't meet a person, can't meet a gamer who doesn't have a story about how this has helped them.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Can't meet one.
Awesome. Well, we have a game starting in 9 minutes that I am
Ooh,
running, so I'm going to. Whoop, my background vanished.
pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Appropriately themed,
Oh no!
considering I am telling a ghost story, and they came from beyond the grave. So we have some spookiness coming up, some silly spookiness, as it is modeled after some Saturday morning cartoons, one of my favorites, which I will not name because of copyright infringements. And I believe the first panel starts at 10:30.
10:30, and that is safety tools in gaming.
Awesome. So I hope everyone, it's not too late to go register, go buy a badge, go jump into some games, go jump into some panels.
Absolutely.
Stay here and watch us and donate. All up to you. We appreciate it. Again, thank you for joining me. I know it's a little early for both of us, Jack. But
What are you talking about, Mr. Muller?
I already poured a second cup of coffee into my mug while we were sitting here.
Keep Cthulhu at bay. More caffeine.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you, everyone. Like I said, we're not going anywhere. So stick around. We'll be back in a couple minutes with some wonderful They Came From Beyond the Grave from our friends over at Onyx Path, talking about Rich. And
I'll be tuning in.
I think we have a really good lineup of stuff today, so don't go anywhere.
All right.
Excellent. Thank you. I will talk to you later today, I'm sure, Jack.
All righty, and have a good one, sir. Get stoked, get hype.
Yes.
I'll be in the Twitch on trying to watch as much as I can in the middle of doing 8 million things.
I know how it is.
All right.